That is blood. Ooh, there's also blood down here. And the angle is like all over the place. It's just all kinds of angles here. And it looks like something, because I'm seeing it here, and I'm seeing on the other side like something was cut with it that it shouldn't have. Maybe it seriously cut a finger, enough down to the bone or something. I don't know, but regardless, I've got to fix these. So I'm Bonnie, and I get all the worst sharpening there is, and I'm supposed to fix it for the hairstylist so they can cut again. Let's see what I do with these shears today. Blood. So first of all, I'm going to take them apart and clean them. I don't even want to touch them, but some people say, well, it's not blood, it's rust. But the rust you can see looks different than what I'm seeing here. You can definitely see that's just a different color than rust. It's not rust, it's blood. I don't know if it came from the last sharpener. I don't know if it came from the last hairstylist that used these. I was told that they were dropped over and over. But I gotta look at that. Get that blood off of there. And I'm using 70% alcohol, and I'm giving a good scrub. And then I'm putting this cloth down. I'm not going to use it again. Always clean your shears off good before you sharpen them. You just never know what's on them. Just never know. And I'm not sure how a person got cut on them because they're not that sharp. Sometimes though, you know, the dull knives are the ones that cut you the most because you have to use extra effort. No, it could be that way with scissors too. Okay, so I'm putting these up. I get and wash it in hot water. And I've got a new cloth. Once again, like all these other shears I've seen, this is another one that came to me from Henry. And I don't know if you can see, but that whole tip is stripped on both sides. And what I mean by stripped is the ride line is that shiny line that comes all the way down the sharp edge and makes a backwards J. Well, at the tip, it's all the way across the tip, and it's on both sides. This one is the same way. So I may have to shorten it about 2 or 3 millimeters. And this should have been a convex edge, and it's been beveled. So let's get started on it. This is my 2000 grit nanowatt stone. It comes in this nice little case. I can't even open it. There, it comes in this nice little case here. And then you want to take it out of the case and set it on top of here as your holder. And when one side gets well used, you can flip it over and do the other side. But it looks like I've already flipped it at least once. I think this is the side I want to stay with. Probably could use flattening, but my Negura stone will kind of clean it up a little bit. Now you don't ever want to use alcohol on here, even if you get blood on it, because the alcohol will dry out your stone. The microfiber cloths are pretty nice. They'll clean it up. See, I had some hair on it. Look how nice that looks. Now this doesn't, oh, almost did it. This does not flatten your stone. It kind of cleans it up and it gives you a little bit of the slurry, and you want to leave that slurry on here. So, I'm going to work on this rod line. Rod line's completely missing right here when I hold it back and forth to the light. This, and then it's stripped out at the tip. I'm thinking what went on with this is possibly the whole blade was on here and they worked it this way, or maybe they worked it here and didn't press hard enough because there's a curve to that blade. If you don't press hard enough, you get too much at the tip and not enough in the center. But either way, I'm just going to go through and do my usual thing. You see, it might have a little bit more of a curve to it than I would really like. A little bit more of a bow or a set. But I'm not going to fix it. Yeah, you see how I took a lot off here and back there, but not in the center? I'll hang my tip off at the corner and then work it that way. And that'll do. And this cleans it up. That rod line looks like it's okay. Now, I've been resharpening a lot of shears sent to me by Henry. And, yeah, same problem here. I got it at the tip and not back here. And I pressed hard. I don't know how much to blame Henry or the sharpener before Henry or what the deal is. But either way, these don't cut. Now I've almost got the rod line now. Still red right here. I'm going to work that corner. When I work the corner, I make sure I have that whole half moon or backwards J area, that J area underneath the pivot on my stone. I don't ever want to have any of that area hanging off my stone. And, oh, that looks pretty good. I'm going to have to reshape it. So I'm thinking I may want to go, I've got it set for 40 degrees. I think I do. Yep, 40. So I'm going to do a scratch test. See, once again, I'm all over the place. Looks like he's got it at 45. Let's see if we can bring it up to 45. Set my detente. Then I'll loosen this so that rocks. Ah, and I got a burr already. Back here, not at the tip. I still have the whole blade on there. I'm just making sure that tip is coming in contact with my abrasives here, my abrasive pad. Feeling a little warm, might spray some water on it. That was the other thing I noticed on this scissor, is that the tip looked like it had been burnt. But I mean burnt, it was a little bit discolored, like it had overheated. So now I have a consistent burr, a consistent angle all the way down. It looks more convexy. I'm going over again, but I'm just going slow just to try to get that convex shape. Looks pretty good. I think I'll go down to something a little smoother. Let's see what I've got here. That's a 400. I think I'll do a worn 800. And I'm not worrying so much about staying at the edge. I'm not worrying about feeling for the burr because I know I've got a burr. I'm just going to be looking to see whether it looks a little bit shinier, a little smoother. And it does. And that Paul Mitchell name came off, and that's just to be expected. It would be good if you could explain that to them beforehand. You can barely see it. But I think that's going to be good enough. Good enough. All right. Because we got to make some money here. Had 10 shears to sharpen a day, and 5 of them were tough ones to work with. Actually, I had 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I had 10. Yeah. All right, once again, I got a burr back here. I do not have it up here. So back to my stone. I might clean it up. Just not getting that burr off this back area where I had to work at it, remember? I have to go up in the corner. And I've pushed a lot of burr to the outside. I might do a little chasing the burr just because of that issue. When I say chasing the burr, I've pushed a lot of burr to the outside, so I'm going to go over the outside a little bit. Once more, just a quick little rotation. And I've got a burr on the inside. Hopefully I've made it smaller and smaller. And now I'm ready to polish. This is a worn, well-loved, well-worn felt pad that I have diamond spray on it and some of my white polish. And some of you that do a lot of sharpening say, oh, there's so many different polishes and pads better than this, but it's good enough. And it doesn't leave as much of a mess as some of the other polishes. I'm going just a little bit faster, and I don't know if you noticed, I tightened this to move it up so that I'm not polishing all the way to the edge. Polishing pretty close, but not to the edge. So I'm going to clean them up, cleaning off the red marker and also off this polishing compound, because that polishing compound will leave a little bit of gritty feel. And that ride line is there, but it certainly looks different here at the tip. But it may cut. It might cut. I don't think this one will at that tip. That's almost like it's got 2 different angles, like it's got one going this way, one going that way. Oh dear. Dear, 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 dear. And these aren't real expensive scissors, because you can tell by the type of screw that the only thing that's holding this together is just this little rubber gasket thing right here. And it's just the friction from that. So my first cut is going to be on my cheap toilet tissue. Remember, it didn't cut it all before? It cuts. Actually, that tip cuts better than I expected it to. Hard to get the right adjustment when it's just friction that holds it. Okay, let's wet it. And then I'll try it on some hair. Little pull at the tip, but man, that cuts a whole lot better than I expected. This was a surprise. Pulls a little bit at the tip. I don't like the way it feels. It feels like it's out of alignment, because you can close it easy and then it's sticky right there. but it cuts, and it's I can't make it pull hair. I pulled it a little bit there. I think we're going to leave well enough alone. Maybe I'll round off that tip. It's a little pointy, little rounding off the tip, so it's not scratchy. These that I thought were going to be the hardest for me to do, these turned out to be the easiest. I just sharpened them and they came out great, and so I'm sending these back. The next video I think you'll enjoy is this one right here coming up.